Good morning. Today is the 24th day of April. The time is 9 o'clock. The Board of Commissioners is in session. All three commissioners are present. Madam Clerk, are there changes to the agenda?
Yes, there are.
I would accept a motion to change the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to amend the agenda, adding item 4 and deleting item 6, number 7, as identified above.
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
This week is a somber and a heartbreaking week for Ada County. It's difficult, it's hard to convey the sadness that we all feel when a young man who was just 27 years old, with his entire life ahead of him, is needlessly and tragically killed while doing his job protecting the citizens of Ada County. Deputy Tobin Bolton was one of our Ada County employees, 837 of whom work in the Ada County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Bolton's death affects each and every one of us, as we're all Deputy Bolton's co-workers. He's part of our family.
Bolter. Bolter.
Yep. Deputy Bolter is part of our family. This board would like to thank the Ada County Sheriff's Matt Clifford for helping us navigate through this tragic event. Before we turn the time over to Sheriff Clifford and others, I would like for all of us to take a moment of silent prayer. I learned last night that Deputy Bolter was a man of prayer. We heard from his pastor last night at a vigil in Star that was well attended. And so if you would take a moment of silence, and if you pray for Deputy Bolter and his family, and we can do that now. Thank you. Thank you. We also need to remember Deputy Dallas Denny. She was injured on the way to help Deputy Bolter. Sheriff?
Thank you, Commissioners. We often talk about how we're the largest agency, and we are steeped in tradition of over 150 years in service, and we're very proud of that. But it makes this extra hard because we've been around a long time, and this is the first time we've had a line of duty death. So Deputy Bolter's passing has hit the entire agency very hard, but everyone has come together in a magnificent way. And I'll repeat something that I talked about at the vigil last night of, I look at the men and women of the sheriff's office, and everyone has all kinds of different feelings. They're sad, they're mad, confused, and just angry at what happened. But we look at the community we live in, a community that we've always bragged about and said how much we appreciate them. And Bolter gives us even more hope into bringing everyone together. The vigil last night in Star, we can't figure out how many people were there. It was amazing. I couldn't see past all of the candles and all of the people. But instead of talking about how great a community we have, Deputy Bolter has shown us how great we are. And that's something precious in the United States today. We live in a different place than many other places in the country. And the outpouring of support has been amazing. One of the things that I'd like to relay to the public are we have two focuses right now at the Sheriff's Office. One of which is celebrating Deputy Bolter through his funeral arrangements, which we'll make public in the days to come, and how we celebrate him now. There will be much more as the dust settles after the funeral of how we celebrate him in the future. We're trying to really take our time with how we showcase to the public, just who he was, what kind of deputy he was, what kind of man he was, what kind of husband he was. And our second focus is on Abby, his wife. I left a room full of probably 60 people from, I think, 6 or 7 different agencies here in the Valley that have all gathered together as a huge team to work on not only Deputy Bolter's funeral, but the focus on Abby, making sure she's taken care of financially, making sure that we take care of her family that live here, the people that are coming to be with her, the people that will come and celebrate Deputy Bolter. And that is also a thing that we are blessed with here in this valley. Every agency through the whole valley has poured their help into making sure that Deputy Bolter and his wife are taken care of. And I appreciate them for it. And just in closing, I also appreciate all of you. All the Ada County employees have been amazing. The commissioners, the prosecutor's office, everyone has stepped up to help. Everybody is grieving with us. And everyone has shown all of my employees that we're not alone in this tragedy. And we appreciate that from you. And we'll get past this, and it will take a long time, and the healing will be a long process. But as a community, like I said, I think we thank Deputy Bolter for making us even stronger. And it's too bad that we have so much strength through tragedy, but he's definitely a symbol of what we have here in Idaho. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Jan?
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners, and thank you all for being here today. Thank you to the Sheriff's Department, and I also want to thank our community for everything that you're doing and for the support. I think that we all feel it. I know the Sheriff's Office feels it. In particular, though, I want to thank Sheriff Clifford. I have watched him navigate this from the night at the hospital through everything that he's gone through today, and I am just incredibly proud of him, and I know how difficult this is for him. And I'm sorry, I'll try to get through this too without tearing up, but I really appreciate his leadership. He's been incredible, so thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say on behalf of my office that I extend our deepest condolences to Deputy Bolter's family, to the Ada County Sheriff's Office, to all of our law enforcement colleagues across the Treasure Valley. We are truly all heartbroken and devastated knowing that Deputy Bolter made the ultimate sacrifice in service to his community. We stand with our law enforcement partners as we grieve this deeply felt loss. The events of Saturday night are a stark reminder that law enforcement officers put their lives on the line every single day to protect us. These heroes put their lives before others. They do this to protect us. They put the lives of others before their own. Instead of running away from danger, they bravely run to danger, even though it is a great personal risk. They do so knowing they may not return to their loved ones, and they do so with immense courage. And yet, knowing all that, they still don the uniform. They set out on patrol with a sense of duty in their hearts, knowing they are serving their communities and they are protecting you all. As always, we are proud to stand alongside law enforcement. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Sheriff Clifford and Jan, our law enforcement prosecutor, because it takes both the law enforcement and the prosecution and our defense bar to bring the administration of justice. And our community is well served by our law enforcement in Ada County. And it is amazing to observe how our community is coming together in this tragic time to support Deputy Bolter and his family and all the law enforcement, because I know everybody feels that sense of obligation and loss. The law enforcement community every day straps on their boots and puts on their vest to go out to protect and to serve. And that's what they do. And they're protecting and serving us. Ada County deputies like Tobin Bolter, they do that every day and night. Now it's our turn to protect and serve. We as a board are making sure that Deputy Bolter's family has everything they need going forward. The board is pleased to share with everyone in Ada County, throughout Idaho and throughout the country, ways we can return blessings of service and dedication. As you know, there are multiple ways everyone in the community can assist the Bolter family. Please take a moment to view some of the options you have to provide support and assistance. Find those on the Ada County Facebook page, the Ada County homepage, the Ada County Sheriff's Employees Association, and the Sheriff's page. There's numbers of ways that we can serve. As Deputy Bolter's employer, Ada County, and specifically this board, will make sure that his family has both financial and emotional support now and into the future. Would either Commissioner Daly or Davidson wish to say something?
Well, Mr. Chair, I'd like to just echo the comments of my fellow commissioners and Sheriff Clifford and Prosecutor Jan Bennett. So in this line of work as a Ada County Commissioner, you do get to know some of the community's best leaders. And I'd like to thank Sheriff Clifford and Prosecutor Bennett and Commissioners Beck and Daly for your leadership, integrity, and your dedication to this county. This board has always been committed to providing the Sheriff's Department with the resources they need to carry out their job safely and efficiently. Being a sheriff's deputy is not an easy job, as everyone here knows. When you start out, your shift includes a lot of overnights and long hours. You're putting yourself in harm's way to protect every person in your community. We know that, and we work to ensure that our employees are supported and protected. Sadly, as we know, we cannot protect everyone from those who would do us harm. This event was shocking and senseless. Our community has been a safe haven for individuals and families. We've been spared many of the challenges of larger communities surrounding us. And we believe it's because our challenges can be overcome. We believe because of our employees, like Deputy Bolter and everyone who lives here. And we're heartbroken by the events of last weekend, and we will continue to do all that we can to protect our employees and our community. We do this for Deputy Tobin Bolter, and every law enforcement officer who dedicates their life to public service. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Daly?
Thank you, Chairman Beck, and everyone here, actually, that's here. It reminded me, and I've quoted this before, George Washington said once that it's always associate yourself with people of good quality. And that's what we have here. All of you, and especially the person we're memorializing here today, and that's Deputy Bolter. Every person here has had a life of service. All of you, all of us on the dais. Every person has served family, faith, and community. We've all had experiences that are precious to us, to our career, to our family, children, grandchildren, for me, grandchildren, weddings, birthdays, all of those things. Deputy Bolter didn't have the opportunity to experience those things. And that's why it is a special grievance for us in remembering him, is that he has not had those experiences. We know that we grieve deeply with everyone here, with everyone in the community, everybody that worked with him, that crossed paths with him these last 27 years, are remembering him now and what he was, the life he was, the life he exemplified for all of us. I want to thank the community as well, like everybody else has. This is a community that exemplifies our focus here now is on him. If you see some of the things that happen in other communities, not only in this country but around the world, when tragedies like this happen, they focus differently than we're focusing here in this community, and I appreciate the community for that. We appreciate as well all the things that we've heard from not only Ada County residents, but from Idahoans and from our country, expressions of support for the family and for us as a community. We thank all of them for that, and we know that all of you and all of us here are keeping him, Deputy Bolter, and his family in our prayers. And so thank you all of you for being here. Thank you all for being part of this community.
Thank you. If there's anyone here who would like to say a few words, you can take a few minutes now if you'd like before we close this up. If not, we everyone understand, but the mic could be yours if anyone wants to say a few words about the family or Deputy Bolter. Okay, thank you. Well, we're going to be adjourned for 10 minutes before we take up the rest of our business meeting. So we'll be adjourned for 10 minutes. Thank you. We are back on the record for the open business meeting today. Our first item is unfinished business. We'll need a motion to remove the unfinished business from the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to remove the unfinished business from the table for consideration.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Right?
Motion carries. This is the final ranking and award recommendation for RFP 24032. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The evaluation team for RFP 24032 has completed the initial evaluation of the proposals, but the evaluation team is still in the review process. Therefore, we'd like to request to retable the final rankings and award recommendation to the April 30th, 2024 open business meeting for further consideration.
Okay, any questions? I'll accept the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to table the final rankings and award recommendation of RFP 24032, Ada County Sheriff's Lab Information Systems, to April 30th, 2024.
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Right?
Okay, now we'll get into a public hearing. We have several public hearings. I'll open a public hearing on resolution number 2972, a resolution to charge for the issuance of a replacement of HID and RFID cards for customers of the Ada County landfill. Any questions on this? On this resolution? This is the card that vendors use, is it not, Herb? If you'd like to give us a little.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Can you hear
Yes.
me okay?
Yeah.
Yes, the HID cards and RFID cards are tools that we utilize for allowing customers to process at the scale house more efficiently. Historically, we have not recovered the cost for the acquisition of the cards to facilitate that process. So the intent with this resolution is to allow us to recover the cost for those cards to improve the cycle time for our customers at the scale house.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board? Hearing no questions, I'll close the public hearing on resolution number 2972 and ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve resolution number 2972 as listed on the agenda.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Right?
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We have next up resolution number 2973, a resolution providing for the sale of county personal property by the Board of County Commissioners. Any questions on this area? It's personal property that we're not using, and it authorizes us to sell that property. Any questions or issues?
Open the public hearing.
I did.
No, well, she told me to tell you.
Okay, the public hearing is opened. If there's no further discussion, I'll close the public hearing on resolution number 2973. And ask for a motion.
I move to approve resolution 2973 as listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Right?
Motion carries. I'll open the public hearing on agreement number 2974, a resolution for the destruction of records in the Ada County Property Prosecutor's Office. Any question or discussion on the destruction of these records?
Guessing those are the ones that have been clogging up the hallways of the prosecutor's office that aren't there anymore, which is
Could
nice.
be.
So,
Could be. Any other discussion? If not, I'll close the public hearing on agreement number 2974. Ask for a motion.
I'll move to approve resolution number 2974 as listed on the agenda.
I second the motion.
You've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Right?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. I'll open a public hearing on agreement number 2975, a resolution for sole source procurement of computer-aided dispatch interface addition to integrate the Ada County BRICS system. Any questions or discussion on this agreement?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to note, I think this is the only source available to provide the interface that we have to have there, so that's why we're having a sole source.
Yep. Okay. Any other discussion? Any questions? Okay, I'll close the public hearing on agreement number 2975 and call for a motion.
I move to approve Resolution 2975 as listed on the agenda.
Second.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we have licenses. We have 4 new licenses, 62 license renewals. And any question or discussion on any of the licenses? I'll accept a motion.
I'll move to approve the licenses as listed on the agenda, including 4 new licenses and 62 license renewals, and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Our next item is the clerk's office. We have with us the clerk's office.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. A lot of excitement in the clerk's office. We are merely 26 days away from the upcoming May primary election. Also at 2 o'clock today, the team is ecstatic that we are publicly unveiling a new elections tool. This tool does not exist in the nation at all today. It's the ultimate in transparency. It's called the Ballot Verifier. It's been about 1,000 man-hours for our team. Trent Triple envisioned this about 18 months ago, so we've been working with our software solution, Cervera. The CEO's actually been in town for this unveiling. It's a really big deal for their company as well. And certainly you can manipulate data from elections similar to what you can do on our website today, but this goes a pretty big step further. This also will introduce the public to images of the ballots. So you can actually see the ballots and see how our technology and our systems actually recorded those ballots. So at 2 o'clock today, I highly encourage everyone to get in there and play around. It's an incredible tool. We were also informed yesterday that in the best places to work in Idaho, the clerk's office landed in the number 2 spot for the Southwest region. We find out Thursday where we stack up statewide, but I'd say we've got a lot of really positive momentum, which is needed. We've got 2 software upgrades coming our way. Those will be pretty big changes and challenges, as well as a front counter remodel, as well as our record retention center and election center remodel, as well as a physical move of one of our teams kind of relocating with the operations team behind us. So a lot of change coming, but I'm really happy to say that we've got some strong momentum going into it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any questions from the board?
Nope, just it's exciting to see that elections thing is the possibilities for us being on the vanguard of making something that's really positive for election transparency.
Absolutely.
Commissioner, thank you.
I'd like to see it next week. I can't see your 2 o'clock unveiling, but I'd like to see it next
Sir.
week.
I like hearing, we're first in the nation in anything. That makes me feel good. And so I know with election transparency and security being such a priority, especially with the upcoming, November presidential election, I think everybody's going to be excited to see how this new program works.
Chairman, Commissioner Davidson, couldn't agree more. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on, we'll have the Claims Journal. I'll accept the motion on the Claims Journal.
I move to approve payment of the claims on the Claims Journal dated April 19th, 2024.
Second.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have some personnel actions. I'd accept a motion on the personnel actions.
I'll move to approve the personnel actions as listed on the agenda and that the summary sheet remain on file in the Commissioner's office.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, we have the Treasurer's Office. Hello.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
Commissioners. I'm here on behalf of the Treasurer's Office today, and the Treasurer's Office does not have any updates for you this week. Just business as usual, preparing for our second half tax collections and kind of gearing up and getting ready for that.
Okay, any questions of the treasurers? office.
Just a comment. Thank you for your investments. The report you're giving us is a good one in terms of revenue, so.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, we've removed item number 7, a landfill issue. I guess you'll take care of that later. Next item is the approval of the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes as identified on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
Second.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Motion carries. We have one interim event at at Expo Idaho, a military antique show. Any question or discussion? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion.
I'll move to approve the one interim event agreement as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now we have Parks and Waterways, Barber Park Education Event Center. We have 4 agreements, a reception, a wedding, and a couple of foreign relations things. I'll accept a motion on those events.
I move to approve the 4 Barber Park Education and Event Center agreements as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I'll second that.
You've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, now we have 11 agreements posted. Any question or any issues about any of the agreements? Or any discussion?
Herb, would you like to talk about the agreement between Ada County and Republic Services for leachate removal?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Morning.
Yes, item C, or agreement number 15649 between the county and Republic Services, is to help us facilitate the removal and treatment of leachate at the landfill. Currently, we are above our permitted level of capacity within our ponds. The pond or leachate levels are not exceeding the pond or breaking the free bore, but we are above our permitted capacity. So this will help us get back into compliance in regards to the management of leachate. The last 2 years have been wet seasons. This has caused the situation that we are currently in today. As you guys may be aware, we are working on a project to add a 3rd pond that will help us with additional capacity that will enable us to avoid having to haul in the future or reduce that frequency as much as possible.
Okay. Do they just charge so much a gallon, or how do they charge?
Approximately, it's about $1 a gallon, so it is not cheap. We are also looking at technologies in the future where we could potentially treat the material on site and have a beneficial reuse for it, rather than having to haul it off as well.
And where do they haul it?
It's about 70 miles south of here at the U.S. Ecology facility.
And then they treat it there?
Yes,
Okay. Yeah, because it looked like it's a pretty good-sized contract, isn't it? That's a lot of water.
correct. There's roughly about 7 million gallons in each pond, and our intent is to initially shoot for 300,000 gallons, along with recirculation of the leachate into the waste mass to help us mitigate the amount we have to haul off, and then we'll continue to assess our volumes over the spring and summer as well.
All right. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners.
Is there any other questions on any of the agreements?
No, just a comment, Mr. Chairman, on the the agreement that we have with CUNA Fire District and then the University of Idaho at the archery range. It's just the county does cooperate with other entities in trying to make things work for the county.
Sure.
Does anybody know about the Ada County and CUNA Rural Fire District Emergency Equipment Agreement? Is that Sean, is that you, or is that somebody else? Is that going through the Sheriff's Department?
Commissioner Davidson, I may have some information on that. It's just a sub-grant through some funding from the federal government. They're going to use it to purchase a trailer, and it's just a standard sub-recipient agreement.
Do you know what kind of trailer?
No, I'm not quite certain of the specifics. It's taken some negotiations with Keener Rural Fire District. They were dissatisfied with the indemnification provision that was included in the agreement, but they ultimately agreed to it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'd accept the motion on the agreements.
I'll move to approve the 11 agreements as listed on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the appropriate documents on behalf of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next up, we have the weekly indigent items. I'll accept a motion on the weekly indigent items.
I move to accept the recommendation of the Indigent Services staff as listed on the summary of cases dated April 24th, 2024, and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we have findings of fact and conclusions of law and final decision regarding compliance with statutory provisions for proposed tax deed parcels. We had a tax deed hearing, and when someone shows up at a tax deed hearing, and two people did show up at these, we need to do a legal analysis and with a finding of fact and conclusions. And we did that, so I'll accept a motion on both these properties.
Mr. Chair, I'll just say that we did have a very thorough hearing, and when we do have a lot of people who don't pay their property taxes, the county can take their home, but we work very hard. I know the treasurer's office works very hard to get a hold of people to make sure that that doesn't happen. And so by the time we actually get to the hearings, where we may have had 20, 30, 40 people who are in threat of tax deed, the treasurer's office is able to get that down to just a couple. And again, we had a real thorough hearing. People have been notified for multiple years. We even called some of them from the hearing to try to get a hold of them to get them down there. So I think we satisfactorily went through the process. We've done everything we can to try to keep people in their homes, but we just had a couple that didn't quite make it. And sometimes that happens where people are deceased and their relatives aren't paying the bills. So, and I think that was one of these cases. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and decision, and direct the treasurer's office to immediately issue a tax deed for parcel number R19550111053, located at 1805 South Michigan Avenue, Boise, Idaho, in favor of the county.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, you got another one?
This one, I think, is actually going to be, it's worked out with this individual, and he's going to come in, but that we have to go through this process. And he understands the process, but that we have to do this, and then he's going to come in and resolve it.
He can redeem it up until we sell it,
Right. And
and we haven't ordered it to be sold yet.
Right. And I think this one has been worked out, but this is the process that we have to go through to resolve it. So, Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the findings of fact and conclusion of law and decision, and direct the treasurer's office to immediately issue a tax deed for parcel R19550111053.
Oh, I actually did the second one first, so you got to read the first one.
Oh, you did that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Peggy Sheldon.
Okay, so you're the one that did the one, okay. So I move to adopt the findings of fact and conclusion of the law and decision, and direct the treasurer's office to immediately issue a tax deed for parcel number R9464250245, located at 850 Benjamin Lane, Boise, in favor of Ada County.
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Unless there's other business to be brought before the board, we'll be adjourned. We are adjourned. acting as the Board of County Emergency Medical Services District. All three commissioners are present. Are there any changes to the agenda?
No, there are not.
Okay. Our first order of business is the Claims Journal. I'll take a motion on the Claims Journal.
I move to approve payment of the claims as listed on the Claims Journal dated April 19th, 2024 regarding EMS expenditures.
I'll second that.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Next item is personnel business, personnel actions.
I'll move to approve the personnel actions as listed on the agenda and that the summary sheet remain on file in the Commissioner's office.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next up is Emergency Medical Services District. Approval of the minutes.
I move to approve the minutes as identified on the agenda and authorize the chair to sign the documents on behalf of the board.
Second.
Next up is the grants. There's a grant application to Western Idaho Healthcare Coalition for the purchase of 260 Conterra POW response packs to be used in active shooter hostile event responses and multiple casualties incidents. No county match funds. Grant from 7/1/23 to 6/30/24. That's about up then.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioners, good morning. This is a grant, event response was actually purchased in 2019.
Okay. Okay.
3 as listed on the agenda and authorize
You were talking about the grants.
the online completion and of the board.
I second the motion.
Okay, you've heard the motion. All in favor, Services District and